Okay, it is a day after India's what do you call it?
Crushing.
Crushing. Think of more mauling,
Annihilation.
decimation. More words. Humbling. Defeat at the hands of Australia.
Did we pass the vocabulary test?
Yeah. We'll come up with more, I'm sure. Thrashing.
Marauding, if I'm not wrong.
Marauding is how Vikings go. No, mauling you mixed up.
He's used mauling already. So, day after that. So, plenty of thoughts on that T20 game in the guise of an ODI match, or at least for one team. They finished it in
11 overs.
11 overs.
That was adding insult to injury.
No, because they were showing that it's an easy enough wicket to bat on. You guys didn't apply yourself.
How many recent occasions of 10 wicket losses for India?
4
of them in the last 3 years.
And 2 of them came to Australia.
Now tell them
This
which one. Count the 4.
There's this one.
No, start from
Okay, so there was
chronologically.
2020, which was Australia in an ODI 1KD. 2021, you had the
Pakistan.
World Cup, Pakistan opening match, T20 World Cup, lost by 10 wickets. 2022, semi-final, England, again 10 wickets. And now, this time again, full circle, Australia again in an ODI, 10 wickets, 2023.
So, as Shane has pointed out, 4 matches in the recent past.
Is it the completion of a circle or is it the starting of another spiral?
Well, circles never really end, no.
Because after
you've taken one round,
it was Pakistan, then so the next time you play Pakistan,
you can take one round and it can end. But we don't know.
In a World Cup year, you would like those spirals to stop and no more circles.
So we've taken from 2020 onwards to now. There have been 4 major 10 wicket losses.
Correct.
Well, that's not great. So, every year since 2020, you've effectively had, or twice in a year also, you've had a loss like that. So, so 20, 21, 22, 23. Actually, once
every year you're having a 10 wicket loss.
So that's okay then. They've decided.
We've had one for the year then.
So then that's great news.
That we're safe.
Great news ahead of the World Cup, because that 10 wicket loss happens once a year, as it's been happening on last 4 occasions from 2020 onwards. So the 10 wicket loss for 2023 is done and dusted. And so this being a Asia Cup and a World Cup year, we can look forward to at least not a 10 wicket loss. But that takes us to a bigger problem. All 10 wicket losses have a left arm pacer being the wrecker in chief. 2021, yes. Pakistan.
2020.
Here, Stark, yes.
2, not really.
England was Sam Curran really.
No, Sam Curran, no.
No, he didn't destroy you the way
It was the opener who actually.
Yeah.
Shaheen completely demolished us. Yeah.
No, but in terms of batting, I'm talking. So their bowling, no. Not so much. Yeah. Everyone had a good game. Adil Rashid, I think, had a good game.
Very good game.
Chris Jordan had a good game.
Couple of wickets.
So
Josh Butler, both the openers.
Butler and Hale.
No, not batting.
The bowlers.
Bowling. I'm talking about was it a left arm pacer? So no, not really. So
1920 was, I'm not sure. I don't know the team, but you may have had Stark or Berendorf, someone.
No, but that 10 wicket loss, India still got 250 plus. It's just that Warner and Finch chased it
very easily.
In the 38th or something over without any loss. So that wasn't so much. But these are worrying signs, because this is the World Cup year, it's Asia Cup year. What we are going to be talking in the dugout today, though I would have loved to, I actually forgot it's such a nice day, by the way, in Delhi NCR.
Very pleasant.
Beautiful day.
For third straight day, I would say. Today is just the best of all 3, I'd say.
But beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Just as we were thinking that summer is going to be coming in early and will kill us, We've had 3 fantastic days. So we're doing great day now to be having chai, coffee. Maybe after we're done with the dugout, we can do that. But coming back to the topic, see, India's record at home is outstanding. And where we are right now, they are staring at a rare home series defeat. What we would like you also is to participate. Let's have a poll. Maybe the poll can be who's favorite to win
The third ODI.
the series 2-1, India or Australia. It will be, unless it's washed out or something like that. I believe, talking on the subject of washing out, there was rain in Chennai.
Yeah, there has been rain.
Yeah. So if it's no rain, obviously we're talking about that scenario. Who is the favorite then to win this series? Now that you have seen 2 matches, so there's enough evidence there of seeing the form of each team, and both have won 1 game each.
Yeah.
Basis on that, please come out with your votes, and that vote is going to be up in our chat, which is the poll. And while you guys are voting on that, we will also try and debate. And our question is India staring at a rare home series defeat? We'll also give you some stats about India's record a little later. But first, let's have Shane and Harshit answer that question. Starting with you. What do you think? Is India staring? Yes, no, and why?
Yesterday you had asked the same question. I'm sticking by the answer, which is...
I had asked.
Yeah, on the live show you had asked. Yesterday Harshit wasn't there. You had asked both me and Siddharth. He said India, I said Australia.
Acha.
And I'm sticking to that. I think Australia would be favourites going into the third match. Not just due to anything else, but they have had a good record in India and ODIs. 2019 was the last time India lost an ODI series at home. Australia,
To Australia.
2-0 up. They ended up coming back to win 3-2. Because everyone remembers that is the Ashton Turner series. He had that one blinder of a knock in Mohali, if I'm not
Yes.
wrong. Yeah. That was a crazy knock.
No, but that was then. Why are you saying Australia this time?
This time around, because again, I think their bowling has looked much better. That's not to say India's have looked bad.
Interestingly-
but in the first ODI, India looked good, fair. This time around, though, I think Stark, the kind of trouble he's causing the Indian top order, and we know for a fact, despite whatever Rohit Sharma may say,
Can
in
be
his press-
3 in a row.
could be.
Law of averages, yeah. Someday they'll hammer him also.
I would hope this would be the day.
So
but
basis Stark, you're saying that
basis Stark and basis even the form which the top order is showing for Australia, Head and particularly Marsh. Mitch Marsh has been an unstoppable wrecking ball through this series. And I think he will be the one who decides the third game also.
okay.
I don't have much to disagree with. My pick also will be Australia for the third match, because I've seen warning signs not just in the second ODI but the first one as well. The top order was dismantled. If it wasn't for KL Rahul, you wouldn't have gotten to the finish line. And let's be honest, we had our hearts in our
But
mouths.
then somebody will step up, na? Like
Somebody
people might
will,
say
but
that
again,
if it wasn't for a Mitchell Stark spell, India would have got 300 in the last game. And if
True, but then
If
you've
it's
got the
sad,
first
but-
ODI to look forward to as well. You look at the first ODI, what happened there. Again, the top order was dismantled. They're just not looking settled at the moment, which is what is slightly worrying me going into the third ODI, because the top order is not giving the confidence. Second match, you didn't have enough runs on the board to give the bowlers a chance, a fair chance with the ball. And so any sort of movement, I think something like this with what Stark did yesterday is going to stay in the heads for some reason going to the third ODI as well, which is why I feel that the top order could have a tough day day after.
Day after Wednesday.
So both my younger colleagues have gone with Australia. Shane, though, in fact, is so bullish. He's come in a yellow t-shirt.
It's actually Sidwi's off. Best day to wear yellow. Otherwise, we'll get winning.
That's what we decided. Probably the safe days to wear yellow, and maybe add some variety here. Could be
Siddharth
days.
is off today, so only day you can wear a yellow and not be twining.
Yeah.
Twinning.
Twinning?
It's twinning. Double N.
Whatever. It's the new age. What is this? Gen Z?
Yeah.
It's a Gen Z language?
Gen Z language.
Oh, it is in the millennial language.
It's both. Gen Z and millennials, there's not that much of a difference. Maybe 2-3 years, it's mostly overlap.
They say 96 is, if
Yeah,
you're born before
exactly.
96, you're Gen Z. Anything
No, after 96,
you're
I'm doing
millennial.
no, other way around. We are millennials.
Are we?
Yes. Millennials is 93 is the cutoff. Anything, or 93 to 96 type thing. Anything after 96 are Gen Zs.
Oh, that's it.
I think, yeah.
But
What about the ones after 2000s were born?
I have no idea. I'll have to check this. I will actually check this because even I'm curious now as to what you'd call them.
Gen Z, millennials.
Who's prescribing these definitions though?
This is like a societal thing, sociological
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Like the term baby boomers.
Huh?
The baby boomers, the 50s and 60s. Why are they called that? Because there was a boom in the number of babies born post the Second War, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so these two have picked Australia, and before I pick mine, there is a super chat. What is it? Roy SP is saying, post 22nd, can we have a show on IPL 11 versus PSL 11 versus CPL 11 versus BBL 11?
Okay.
Also possibly a show on all-time 11s of 8 old franchises. Roy
My
SP, thank
God.
you so much for these ideas, but these will be a little low in our priority order. We will first start, and this is just to let you know, we'll soon be starting our videos on the IPL. We'll first start with basic, likely playing 11s, then go into the next set where we'll look at strengths and weaknesses of each squad. So I think those we'll do first, and then if we have time, we'll get into the ideas that you're also sending. But thanks so much.
that's actually the all-time 11s of 8 old franchises could be fun.
Yeah, but it'll take a long.
Oh, it will. You'll have to do some
Maybe
research
during the
there.
IPL we can
Return of Shark Tank,
we can do that. Shark Tank can be back,
IPL edition.
but that can't be
2.0.
like this format. The Shark Tank format can't be for
No,
this.
it can't be for this. No.
But we will try and bring the Shark Tank
Yeah, I'll
back.
have
We'll try
to-
and bring the quiz back. Have you
Quiz.
seen Shark Tanks and quizzes?
No, I'll have to.
Those are last year's this thing. We'll show you. It's on the channel.
We'll have more contenders this time. So there could be 4 people rather than 3. Okay. Rahul Java is saying, honestly, one of you read
I'll
it.
read it. He says, honestly, a lot of questions around the batting, but last 2 T20 World Cup, it's the bowling that is disappointed in big matches. Shardul Akshar can play only against B teams.
No. Rahul Java being harsh on both.
Yeah.
I think Shardul and Akshar both are not going to play as one of the 5th bowler. I think they are the 6th or the 7th bowling option, and in that way, it's absolutely fine. You got to realize that you need to pack your team also with batting. Today, you're going to be competing with an England which has Adil Rashid at 11 sometimes, who's got enough first-class hundreds.
No.
You will have a Mitchell Stark at number 10 for Australia, 9, 10, whatever. And he can tonk, in white ball cricket. So
and red ball cricket too. I think he has half
yeah, but in India he's had a dodgy record. But yeah, he can overall. But I'm saying white ball, though, in any condition he can be dangerous.
True.
So I'm saying you're going to be competing with such teams. So you would have to look at your batting. No option. You will have to have batting. Right now you're only looking at 8. You might need 9 also. Decent bat. That's how one day cricket is going. With that in mind, you will have to play Shardul / Akshar depending on the condition. You're going with extra spinner or fast bowler. So that I don't think is a fair criticism.
Especially if you go over the last few big tournaments. 2017, it was your batting that collapsed in the final Champions Trophy.
Yeah.
2019, it was your batting that had a very off day against New Zealand with what was a very chaseable target in the semis. The one match your top order failed with, right?
Yeah.
Because before that, Rohit, Dhawan and Kohli were having
Rohit had
rollicking,
500s.
Rohit in particular. Yeah.
500s that tournament.
2021, again, it was your batting that largely disappointed. You didn't have big matches.
I'd say 50-50. I think batters didn't get enough runs. And then I'm saying 150 in a T20 game, on certain occasions you can put pressure. It'll be high
Not in
pressure,
that
yeah.
match, though.
But there it was just one-way traffic.
was
So
a putter
I think
wicket.
both were to be blamed. I think you would 150 was not ideal, but at least it gave you some sort of an outside chance. But your bowling was insipid, so did nothing. Same for the England game in Adelaide.
Your bowling was insipid there.
Yeah, but your batsman also didn't
Didn't
get
do
enough
much better.
runs.
Yeah, because-
Everyone is looking at other matches, but remember those matches happened at the Optus Stadium or at the MCG, where runs were very, very tough to come by.
Exactly.
Adelaide had been a batting paradise, so you can't compare. I think India were below par, just as they were against Pakistan in that game.
Yeah.
And just as your bowling was insipid against Pakistan, here as well they were. So, I mean, again, just like Pakistan, there in UAE, you could have, as I said, not a lot of chance, but a 30% chance you could have won that game with that. Similarly, with or 35% chance you could have won if you bowled really well. Similarly with England, when you didn't get that many runs, it wasn't as if you got 120 only, which left you with no chance.
You got like 160 or
But speaking of the batting, I was just looking up right now that series that Shane mentioned, the one in 2019 when Australia and the last series defeat that we had. Of those 5 matches, twice India were bowled out.
Yeah.
Twice India were 9 wickets down. The one match that India won, that was the only time I think they were 6 wickets down or something. But you look at the other matches, you were bowled out twice. Once for about 281, the other time I can't recall, and the other 2 times that the other 2 matches, you were 9 wickets down. That tells you a thing or two when you're facing Australia, let's say, and in
You're
ODI.
talking about the 2020 series,
19.
which
The one which
Australia
you lost.
won.
Yes,
3-2.
came
They
from behind
back.
and won.
Yeah. Maybe then it's a thing to do with Australia. We'll take a look at those numbers a little later. We've got as to why are we saying that it's going to be a disaster if India lose this series. We'll take a look at that. So basically what we're talking about, and if you look at that graphic, can they see this, Anurag? Okay. So it's a decade of dominance for India. Since March 2023 to March 2013 to 23, we've taken a 10-year period. You've had 19 ODI series at home. You won 17 and you lost only 2. One is that 2019 series versus Australia, where Australia actually made a comeback and won 3-2, which Harshit spoke about. And the other one was against South Africa,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
They
That was
won.
also early part of this timeline.
Yeah.
Because if you go back to 2017, even 18, 17, 16 times, you'd have just one. The Australia one.
Yeah. So what this is effectively showing you that beating India, we know this about Test cricket, but beating India in white ball cricket also, bilateral series also, is very, very tough at the moment. So that's how they've dominated. Which is why we're saying if Australia were to win the last game and win the series, it's going to be massive from the Australian point of view and a massive disappointment for India, because this seldom happens. And this will set the alarm bells ringing. But to be fair, if we can come out of that data, to be fair to the Indian team, the one, and I've not really picked my sort of favorite. You both have. I'll get to that later. The one benefit of doubt right now I'm giving the Indian team, that out of those 17 wins that we saw, I can recall a lot of occasions where it went down to the wire. It went down to the last game of the series.
Correct.
Where that would have decided who wins. And more often than not, which is almost 90%, India managed to win it. So maybe in that sense, if you take a look at it, maybe we're just being a little ahead of ourselves, that saying, oh, disastrous situation. No, for all you know, India win that last game, and then just like all the other series, this record stays the same. So we'll just add one more series. It'll be 18. 2 losses still looks good, because in all of those 17 we haven't gone back and really seen were they dominant or not, because I can tell you, and this is just on top of my head, a lot of them went down to the decider. So they've been close. So maybe even now there is nothing really to worry and nothing much has changed. But as I said, even that one loss and you lose a series, because it happens so rarely, it will be a big talking point and something then that the Indian team will need to look at closely, because it's the World Cup year. So these two have gone with Australia, which means they are betting on a rare occurrence to happen. I just wanted to know, Anurag, can we see the poll at the moment and see where we are standing with what our subscribers and our fellow...
We took that one, it's okay. We took that. And just come out of it.
So majority, so we've got already about 400 votes, and majority are saying that India win, huh?
So they don't
In your
agree.
face, Shane and Harshit. In your face. Okay. Now I'll pick mine. And I have an option of going
with the
with our
family members.
beloved subscribers, or I have an option of going with my 2 young colleagues, and I'm going to go with what my mind is saying, which is I'm picking Australia. I'm picking Australia because they have been clearly the better team. I think the only blemish I've seen in this Australian team, including their batting and bowling, was that 1 hour sort of a 1.5 hour phase of their batting in that game in Mumbai. That was the only time they slipped up. In fact, you take a look at that match, the way they started was on
Pretty
a
good.
different level.
Yeah.
Next, and then they had that collapse where they lost their wickets and ended up not getting too many runs, which then India was sweating over, and then eventually by huffing and puffing managed to reach there.
Get there, yeah.
But they even made a fight of that. The second game was just like one-way traffic. It was like two guys fighting with one having their hands tied behind their back. So it was just so in favor of Australia. So based on what we've seen in two matches and how the batting and everyone else is performing, I'm also going with Australia, which I'm saying you're going to see a very rare thing happen
Tomorrow,
on Wednesday
day after.
in Chennai is Australia victory. Having said that, I think after the first one was definitely seam friendly. The second one also had that extra bounce. I don't think Chennai you're going to get a pitch
Either.
anywhere close to that for two reasons. One, Chennai doesn't anyway produce that. At one point, Chennai used to have a quick track, by the way, many years ago, at least 3-4 decades ago, it used to, not anymore. And secondly, IPL is coming.
They'd be ready for
And
the
whose home ground is it?
CSK.
And what does CSK like? So what would the pitch be like?
Should most likely be a turning, right?
So if it's a turning track, and no matter how good Australia has looked till now, as soon as the conditions change, then doesn't matter the form or which is looking better, it can be a completely different result, in which case our subscribers,
Would be correct.
they'll say in your face.
Maybe they are actually, thinking ahead, and they
No,
they
there's a
already
point. There is a
already
point.
took the conditions into account.
But see, just the thing also, flip side, even aside from pitch conditions, it's slightly overcast still and it is raining.
Exactly. Just
The
a
new
little bit
ball
of
might just be enough
little,
to
if
undo
there is a
batsman
little
who's
bit
there
of
right
wind
now.
there day after, just a bit of wind. You never know if that's enough.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Chennai normally the crosswinds do come into play
Yes.
a little bit.
The stadium's not that far from the beach.
Oh, it's just next door.
Exactly.
Yeah, but usually this time in Chennai gets really hot and muggy.
This time it's raining.
Yeah, but this time it's raining, and I mean rains can make it worse. But I don't think the summer's really set in. So
You're
it's not
saying something
very
about the
bad.
forecast also. You had some insight, right?
No, a good friend who claims to be from Chennai, as he claims to be from every other part of the country, was saying that it's raining there right now.
There was a
He has
forecast
local
in-
knowledge. Friends and family, everyone is there.
Yes, people
So-
everywhere. Very
Yeah,
well
so
connected, man.
He was saying it was raining. Maybe we'll have somebody from Chennai joining us, and they might be able to tell us whether.
Perhaps, yes. They can give us an idea as to what the conditions over there are right now.
Yeah. So let's take. What's the poll like? Has it changed? Same? Whatever?
It's increased, but
Yeah,
I think then we had a few
the-
votes for Australia. I think.
Exactly. No, we've had more votes over the last few
Exactly,
minutes.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying, but
exactly.
the
But
percentage
Yeah,
is
but
still
100
same.
more votes have come.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but the percentages is staying the same. That means Australia's got some votes too.
yeah.
No, it has, but then the ratio remains the same.
Ratio is the same.
The proportionate increase has been the same on both.
From both. Yeah, so if 100 voted, it's
50-50.
50.
not 50-50. No. Then it would have been pushing the percentage of Australia up. The same.
Proportionate
Right.
increase.
So
yes.
there would have been 39 if 100 have come in, 39 for Australia
And 61 for
India.
India.
Yes, just as much. So that proportion remains the same. But what do you guys make of? I mean, if India has to do well, Sky also has to come to the party. I think Rohit Sharma had
Yes.
something to say about
Yeah.
Sky. What did he?
He said that, listen, we've said that in the past, people with potential will be backed, and he's somebody we see with a lot of potential in the white ball format, so we'll continue to back him.
So Surya Kumar is playing the next game.
Yes, this
and then the
potential
series
word, by the way,
after.
was used for KL Rahul in the previous series when there were questions.
In the test series.
That is when the potential word had first come up after the second test match, I remember.
Oh, so what are you trying to say? That they are saying potential, but they won't play.
Problem is here, then who do you bring in? You
No,
have
but then
to-
it is for certain, right? Till the time Shreyas isn't available, he's your next best batter, let's
See, I
say,
mean, to
or
be
next
fair-
best option,
To be
if
fair,
not the
Sri Lanka
next.
did a dugout also, which we picked out 4 separate options. It's not
Which
like
were?
you don't. You had Sky was one rather, but if not Sky, then you could still go with Sanju Samson. Man's looking in decent nick. Also, I saw a video of him
What is he doing? Practicing for the IPL?
knocking sixes all over. Variety of bowlings. We'll have a shot of that soon. Oh, we already do have it.
Already have a shot of Sanju Samson. Check that out. He's looking in good nick, as Shane points out. It's
Different type of bowling. So left arm, you have, you'll have a seamer ball in between. It's tonking all of them for 6.
Okay, check the video out. It's on Sports Today. But I think with Sky, I'm in agreement with Rohit Sharma. I would also give him a long row. He's doing very well in T20 cricket. There's no reason for him not to do well in ODI.
Eventually,
also. Yeah. I think what I noticed, at least in the last 2 games, there has been a technical issue. If you take a look at it, how he played those 2 balls, and I actually freeze those 2 deliveries. If you see I think both balls he played on the back foot. I think he was there and
he was going for a swing.
Firstly, they stand like so wide. And both balls I think were the balls to play in the front. Both balls. I think both balls he kind of played back to balls that should have been played in the front.
But I think another similarity in the 2 dismissals was I think he completely failed to read the swing.
Yeah, but
both drivers plumb.
Yeah. He was, but that's what I'm saying. He was getting stuck to the crease there. You have no option. Then you're a dead duck.
Yeah.
You had to go forward to it, but what happens, now these new batsmen standing with such wide stances.
Yeah, it becomes difficult.
It works in T20 because then you don't have enough time to go front back. You're just standing here and you do whatever. No matter what the length, you'll just use your hand and play it through.
Yeah.
Which Mitch Marsh also does, by the way.
In T20s.
Yeah, so the slight change, maybe he needs to make that slight alteration from T20 to ODI, because I think he's a good enough batsman. Also, what I think the other thing that's gone against him is T20 you're typically getting Pata flat tracks.
Correct.
But the bowler's just not in with a chance. So ball's not doing anything. Once you figured out the length, then it's up to you how you play.
Yeah.
Whether you want to hit it over extra cover, you want to hit it mid wicket, you want to hit it behind the keeper. You just innovate, which he does, right? So you do that.
So you look at the picture of both the dismissals. Bat is pretty much identical, and he's stuck in the crease.
That's what I'm saying. Just look at that. He's stuck in the crease. If you take a look at those 2 dismissals that I was just talking about, both in the first ODI and the second ODI, I think both those dismissals is where. Can we show this also, Anurag?
Yes.
So if you see now, exactly same got stuck in the crease. At least the second time he's trying to. By the way,
to the front foot.
But can I tell you? It's looking like he's coming on the front foot. See,
Second one, yeah.
But he's actually not. If you see, we can't. It's not a more. He was standing only like this. He stands only like this.
Yeah.
So and then he's playing this. So it looks like you're.
Perhaps. I think you make a valid point.
Yeah.
You can see in the second, the grab which they've got is post impact on his pad. So maybe then his foot just went forward.
No. All I'm saying is he stood like this. I don't know if you can see that. He stands like this. So it's effectively this.
And maybe it was just the hand movement, no foot movement. That's
correct.
It's and I think Shane also makes a valid point. Yeah, look at the ball there. So ball's already hit him.
And so after this is something I noticed a lot of them, after it hits, the first thing they'll do is just tell the guy don't run. So they end up moving their foot a tad. So maybe that's the motion here.
Yeah, and remember he just walked away from the stumps. The moment he saw, he's like this.
He
completely missed it, and then he just tried to take his leg away.
Yeah. So I think that slight, because he came across these conditions also may have hampered. And then again not saying that's a luck factor, but he also got to gem of deliveries. Like it would have been tough for most batsmen. Even the toughest of batsmen would have been challenged. So that ball, the way it's pitched, it's the way it's coming out, I think that itself was challenging. But see, he has to find ways, right? Conditions will keep changing. You get such conditions, you get tougher. He needs to find a way, and he needs to get better, because believe you me, if he can replicate that T20 form, you'd need someone like a Sky with the ODI World Cup around, where he can suddenly give you, so you can have like a much more subdued start, and then he gives you that impetus where you go past 300, 320, 330. I think he's still playing in T20 mode, where he has the thing, I'll come, first ball I'll hit for a 4. Yeah. Doesn't always work that way, especially in conditions where the bowler is making the ball sing.
It's the same problem with Ishan Kishan as well.
With Ishan Kishan, that's all he tries.
The same mindset. Again, that dismissal in the first match again.
Playing all
across was no need at all.
No foot movement, nothing.
Yeah. So maybe these things work in T20s, and yes, of course, the thing with T20 and especially field restrictions, especially given the fact that both Ishan and Surya, like taking their chances. So yeah, it's
We got a super chat. Let's take it.
given them dividends.
We have a few more. Did we miss?
Okay. Roy SP says, because I said we'll do a video on strength and weaknesses of squads. He said it's like salt on my wounds as KKR don't have many strengths. We'll be watching KKR matches with Kulchas. Come on, Roy SP.
He's-
I'm a fellow KKR fan.
In fact, one of the few first videos we were
Don't
planning on
worry.
doing was the KKR one.
Don't worry. Everything will be fine. Relax. Sahil Verma, what is he saying, Harshit?
Sahil Verma says that rather than finding average bowlers who could bat, why don't we make Siraj, Shami, Umran improve their batting? At least they could be like Stark or Rashid.
No, it doesn't happen that
It
way.
doesn't happen that way. You can't cultivate this thing.
Too late.
Too
late.
You just come with that ability to tong the ball. Let's say Umesh Yadav does. Umesh, again, we've seen him, strike the ball
Well, he'll
around.
still be a hit and a miss.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
he didn't miss.
Again,
That's
but you
what it
can't expect that from others as well. Not everyone comes with that ability to strike the ball. Shami, yes, he can, but then he tries to do that every ball, and then he manages to dispatch a few, but then he gets bowled out too.
Yeah, no, won't happen.
Shubham Garg, pointing to me, says, Shane, it's funny when you say that in the 2017 Champions Trophy final, batting let us down when a Pak team which could not score 250 in the entire tournament hammered 340 in the final. But
You refer to the
I did mention, I did say, because that was a match where I remember you lost the top order and that to a left arm seamer again.
Yeah,
Amer.
but you're right in that fair. I think.
Yeah, and even then that pitch
You
was
see,
not
firstly, you allowed them to score.
Fucker, wasn't it?
Also, it was that you could argue it was that one no ball that changed the complexion of the match.
Fakhar Zaman gets 100 and
100.
they get
Exactly.
340.
Yeah.
So I agree. See, much like the Adelaide game and the UAE game that we were talking about against Pakistan and Adelaide versus England,
Yeah.
I think it was both factors where you fell short. Either game, if you had an outstanding bowling or a batting, you could have clawed your way back, but it didn't happen in both games. There, I agree that one no ball, Fakhar Zaman could have been out pretty early, then gets a life and scores so much. So that, but also don't look at they're not scoring runs at other matches. You're playing different conditions, right? So this was
And this is England, where conditions do vary a tad with the grounds you go.
yes, and this was at the Oval. So Oval that way slightly better in
For
terms
batting,
of
yeah.
batting than Lords and various other grounds, Birmingham and wherever else
340
you
was
play.
chasable, actually.
Uh,
One big knock.
No, but I'd say okay. At half time, if a team has put 340, I'm going 65 or 60-40 something or 65-35 in their favor. Has to be agreed. But for you to make that 35-51 and win, you really need to also bat well,
Step up,
which was nowhere the case.
Yeah, because your top order, which is your fulcrum, collapsed.
And again, it was a left arm seamer that day.
Yeah, Mohammad Amir.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Shekhar.
Mr. Shekhar.
Good
Like
morning.
always, very gentlemanly of him to wish us good morning from the United States. He says there's a reason as to why the media box at
Is there a reason?
Is there a reason? Yes. So he says, is there a reason why the media box at Rajkot and Kensington, Barbados has that oval design of Lords?
No, so Mr. Shekhar, I've been at the Kensington Oval, Barbados.
yeah.
Rajkot, I've not been inside the press box. I know what you're talking about. And I've been, of course, at the Lord's press box, the one that you're talking about. That also is a newish design that Lord's got. It's a fantastic press box, firstly. Beautiful place, the way you go up to it, and then it's like a spaceship sort of a press box. They serve lovely lunches during test matches, I might add, at Lord's. I think, there is no reason as such. It's just inspired by that because it looks so nice. Yeah. I know that Rajkot, for that matter, because I remember speaking to Niranjan Shah, who was at the helm of affairs when that press box was made. So he mentioned that they were inspired by Lord's press box and thought that it looked very good. And so came about that identical looking press box in Rajkot too. But I don't think there's any other.
It's just imitation being the sincerest form of flattery. That's it.
exactly that. Akash Bhardwaj who wants us to.
Pick up Fab 4 in bowling. Bumrah, Jofra, Stark, Shaheen is his choice. Not a bad choice. Not a bad Fab 4.
Right now? But
current
then
crop.
they're injured. Now Jofra's been injured
Jofra.
for a long time.
So
Bumrah
is
now
Bumrah.
injured. Shaheen came back from an injury.
Yeah.
Multiple
Stark
injuries.
also back from an injury. But yeah, overall,
By the way, interestingly,
Well,
the
I'm
poll
surprised.
numbers are changing. They've
dropped down
there's been a
very slightly.
2% change, but that tells you the fact that of late people, maybe we made an argument, we've made a case, people are changing.
we'll see at the end of it.
And still overwhelmingly going one way, but then there's been a 2% reduction.
Yeah.
So yeah, more votes coming towards Australia then.
To answer Akash Bhardwaj, Fab 4, I don't know because a lot of them are injured, so I don't know. But the one bowler that you've really missed out, which will be in conversation for me, is Kagiso Rabada. So you've not taken him. I
actually.
think I will.
Yeah, maybe
I
in
will
place of
have Rabada
Shaheen
in
right now, you could have a Rabada. Rabada's been doing it longer.
Yeah. All
Across
formats.
formats.
All formats.
Across
Yeah.
formats.
And he's been fitter than these guys, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not had that many. His
Yeah.
major issues were running with rules.
Plus, there was a time where, again, briefly, Hazelwood looked more effective than Stark.
Yeah.
So,
in tests, you can argue that Hazelwood and Cummins are probably ahead of Stark. as bowlers.
So again, you'll have to
Yeah.
look at the format. But if you're looking all formats, Bumrah certainly because he make that impact in test, but then injury. Jofra too.
Again, 2019 Ashes,
Won the World Cup also, yeah.
1 year World Cup Ashes.
If he is fit,
Yeah.
unplayable on occasions. CSKN wants to know, man with the highest list A average of all time. He also won Orange Cap, but he is not even in consideration for India's ODI setup. What else should my man do?
Who's he referring to here?
Highest list A average of all time. He
And
also
Orange Cap winner.
Suresh Raina, is it? No.
But then Suresh,
Yeah, could be.
could be, but then Suresh Raina has been retired for a while.
Yeah,
That's why
or
he's not in the
Shikhar.
con-
Or Shikhar.
Has Shikhar won an Orange Cap? I can't remember.
I doubt. He's always
He's
been
always
in-
up and above.
always
but
up in
he's
top
always the
5. Yeah,
bridesmaid.
always.
So,
Yeah.
Highest list A average
Check, just Google highest list A average.
should be
in
Raina, I
India.
guess.
Yeah, maybe, but then Raina's retired 3 years back.
Yeah.
So that's why he's not in that conversation.
Let's figure that out. Okay, Pranav Anand said in Chennai too, there will be 3 spinners. Can India give ball to Akshar Patel in the power play from one end? Given that Marsh and Head both like pace in the ball, Marshall will be good. But Pranav, I think if it's a spin-friendly track, then I think India don't bring in Shardul. That's for sure. It remains the same. You bring in a spinner, but if you want someone to bowl in the power play, go with Washington Sundar. Let him
Yeah.
be that guy. I think.
But are
that's
you
the
going
one
to drop
change.
Akshar now? He's
Yeah.
your best bowler and best batsman.
No, I would.
When
I would.
you had Ruturaj Gaikwad as your orange cap.
Arey, of course, CSK.
Ah, yes.
CSK.
Actually,
player.
but can okay, you're talking about Ruturaj Gaikwad, yes, valid point. But with Ruturaj, every time he's coming to the team, he's gotten injured.
And actually, even when he's played, hasn't really lit the.
Yeah, but he's also not got an extended run
Yeah.
because
Because he
he's been
gets
injured.
Injured. Yeah.
No, he's, by the way, aesthetically, just to watch the way he plays fast bowling spinners, outstanding.
Very elegant.
yeah, but just
Very elegant.
yeah, as if, I don't know, frail body can't hold up to a lot of cricket, I guess.
And in IPL, he only comes alive in the second half of the tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
Karthik has something to say from the United States. He says that why does our bowling shut down completely without a fight when our batting fails in knockout matches? More reason to have Umran for the explosiveness.
Very, very, very valid point.
Yes.
I think, Karthik, this is a fact which we discussed. That fine, you've had occasions where the batting is not stepped up, whether it was that England game, the T20 World Cup, or the Pakistan game. But I don't think they also didn't give you a total to fight with. Yes, they were just about par totals or maybe slightly below par, but they were definitely not totals where teams could just, destroy you, which they did. So, I mean, bowling also needs to be questioned on certain occasions, and I
But
think we saw that in both those occasions, that you went with a bowling attack that did not show,
That kind
a
of
lot of
intent.
bite, throughout that
In
tournament.
fact, to add to your point, 2022 England, you had Bhuvneshwar bowling in the power play and the wicketkeeper standing up to him.
Yeah, that was a
Early on.
bad call.
Early on.
Bad call.
At that point only, Josh Butler's thinking, okay, stand, deliver, tonk.
Because that was a defensive thing.
Correct.
You didn't want him dancing the other side.
Dancing, yes.
But that's defensive.
But then that's Josh Butler. He will hit stand in one place and
Ashwin didn't have a great tournament, both 21 or.
And
in fact, for that matter, even Akshar didn't have the best tournament.
Exactly.
Ashwin, in fact, was almost wicketless for the entire.
I think he took 4 or 5 wickets.
Exactly.
Take wicket-taking bowlers with you.
Yeah, no, you did. You had Yuzi Chair.
You were.
Throughout.
Yeah. That mistake. What's Saurabh Mukherjee saying?
He says, do you think this series will have any bearing on the World Cup as it will be played in October and November? ICC has given us World Cup on a platter. India must win. You know, sort of, normally I would agree with you, but right now, the kind of weather you have is almost similar to the kind of weather you'll have in October, November.
Yeah, but the difference is he's right there because we're fretting over India's performance in these kind of conditions. You're not going to get these conditions in October for 2 reasons. One, it's an ICC event. ICC usually wants flatter tracks where you get a lot of runs. And October, the thing is, while the weather in terms of temperatures might be the same, but don't forget, now you are sitting in a time where you've come out of the winters. That will be a time where you come out of the summers with the hot conditions, where the pitches have baked for a long time. They would have been tired having a full IPL and then a few bilateral series. I think you will get slower, sluggish, or maybe even batting friendly conditions. So
Batting friendly, yeah, seems likely.
yeah. What's the status of our poll? We're on 700 votes.
And now it's come down to 59-41.
59-41, it's close. I think that's more like a real picture.
It's not overwhelmingly on one side.
Yeah. Rajan Thind is saying, why after Greg Chappell, no Indian coach has come to back young players and who wholeheartedly give a chance to Indian team? If you talk currently in the context of Sanju, Shaw and others, no, but there are young players who got chance under Ravi Shastri and...
And one of the criticisms I think of late has been that too many Indian caps have been dished out.
Yeah, I agree. Shubman Gill is a youngster only, na? Given a chance, he's come. Umran Malik is a youngster.
Shubman, Ishan.
Someone like a Pant too, really. We forget how he's 23, 24 only.
24, I believe. Yeah.
Exactly. So, Ankit Kumar saying Dew decide karega, you can say whatever, which is true. Dew will play a major role.
Yes.
Oh, well, then I think that will be another World Cup where it's win toss, potentially win match.
Win toss, win match. Yes.
You could see that, correct?
Abhay Pratap Singh saying, have you heard Jadeja's opinion on ODI boring? No, Abhay, I haven't heard Jadeja, and I don't know which Jadeja you're talking about.
Pretty sure he's talking about
Ajay must be. Ravindra wouldn't have. No, we haven't. But I have heard Sachin Tendulkar's opinion. That was in the conclave. You can hear that, what he had to say. I've heard recently Ravi Shastri saying that make it 40 overs.
Yes.
I've heard Dinesh Karthik in commentary say the other day, it's become so boring, this is your last 50 over World Cup.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a bit extreme.
No, I think if anything has to go away, then it'll be bilaterals. Maybe you'll just keep the World Cup because of the legacy. 75, it's your first ever World Cup.
But then there'll be one camp will be like, no, you need bilateral so that, in the lead up to the World Cup, you'll need all these series as well to prepare.
Yeah.
They will, but again, money talks.
Yeah. See, I think that was a bit harsh and extreme. I don't think this is the last World Cup.
Last World Cup, definitely not.
But ODI getting boring, I completely agree.
Yeah. In fact, although if you look at...
But then that way, even if the great man Sachin's, if his suggestions are taken, let's say, or to an extent if they're taken, this could be the last 50 over World Cup in its truest form, let's say.
But I don't think they'll take that suggestion. We gave it earlier also. So firstly, that 25 over thing they're not going to do. But I agree with the other suggestions. One, keep juicy pitches like you're seeing now. Let it be a contest. Don't prepare those flat tracks. And the worst thing is that India and all used to have, now England and everyone, Australia also started preparing like flat track. Don't do that. That's first. And secondly, that 2 new balls, get rid of it. Let there be 1 ball, let that factor of reverse swing come into play, let the fact of balls getting soggy because of sweat and saliva use
dew.
and everything and get
Yeah.
tough for the batsman. Let all of that happen. In case there is discoloration, which is the reason why you were kept keeping 2 new balls, change it. Nowadays you get slightly harder ball that comes in, which may be 30-35 overs, but whiter than the other one. I think that system is better. But make it something now, like let bowlers not be sitting ducks towards the second half of the innings.
Yeah.
When you have that one power play left
Correct.
and a shiny new ball which you can just swing at and tonk
Exactly.
and it'll just go.
Take the question.
Abhijit Satyanarayanan, I hope I got that right, says Rohit says he'll give a long rope till Sky, he being Sky, adapts to ODIs, which is good. But why don't they give a longer rope for Sanju Samson, who did well in that short rope, averaging 65 in 10 matches?
See, firstly, I think there's a big difference. Sky has been this level in T20. I think that has helped him come, firstly. So, not a fair comparison. But on the second point, I think Sanju should now be given a chance. I have a feeling that he will now come in as the backup wicket keeper, depending on his IPL performances, and we can make a mark.
Yeah.
He might replace Ishan Kishan in the squad. Whether he gets a chance to play in the 11, not now because KL will do it. But at least gradually, slowly.
Also, of that 65 average, last year he was averaging, if you look at ODIs, around 70 odd, playing at number 5. So he's actually had a very good year in ODIs.
No,
Only
fair
reason he's
point.
dropped out now is because of that injury he picked up, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Chalo, shall we?
Yes, so we can take the poll results also.
Final
End
poll
poll.
result, le lo.
And poll. So with just about
Let's give it
700
Maybe
votes
700, yeah.
that we managed to garner, so yeah, 59% of you think
What is the question?
that India will be favorites going to the third match. So series 2-1 in India's favor is what you guys feel, as against 41% of you plus Shane and me and Nikhil as well, who feel that maybe Australia will be favorites going into the last ODI.
Yeah, so now you've got 700 votes and it's clearly in favor of India with 60-40.
Correct. 60.
So we'll find out. Wednesday is the game, but we'll be back tomorrow
Yes.
and then we'll discuss what we have to. Bye bye. See you. Vanakkam.